Hi, everyone. Hope your week is off to a good start and hope you had a great Labor Day holiday. This video is going to show you how to complete the lab assignments for Chapter 2. Just some tips as we kind of go through the packet tracer assignments in Chapter 2. You'll notice we're getting a little more hands-on this week. So I just wanted to create this video to show you guys how to complete some of them. This specific video is going to show you how to download our student data files and complete the very first lab assignment. For other lab assignments this week, there will be other videos that you will watch. So we're first going to click on the Chapter 2 student files and we're going to save them. Make sure you save them first. We're going to click OK. All right, that's going to save to our downloads folder. So I'm going to open up our folder here and I'm going to want to extract these files. Okay. I have 7-zip installed on my computer, so I can extract them here. There's also, if you don't have to have 7-zip, in Windows, there's a decompress option, and you just basically go to extract files, and here they are here. All right, we've got 4 lab assignments this week. Remember, the PDFs you do not have to complete and turn in. That is for your benefit only if you would like to use those, print them off, look at your instructions. Some people like to do that rather than look at the instructions within the packet tracer. But remember, sometimes you do have to consult those for some of these. So we're going to open up our first one, which is 2.1.4.8, navigating the iOS. All right, so I'm going to kind of half my screen here with the instructions as well as the lab assignment. So basically you want to make sure you're completing the correct lab assignment first. Then we're going to look in our right screen here for the directions, and the left side of the screen we're going to look at for the actual devices that we can interact with. So in part 1 it says we're going to be connecting to a PC and a switch using a console cable and explore various commands. So step 1, it says connect PC1 to S1 using a console cable. Now in the chapter you will notice that to connect a PC to a switch, you're going to use a console cable. Now, down here in the bottom left-hand corner of Packet Tracer, the program, you will have a kind of an orange lightning bolt. That is the cables. And then to the right, you will see a list of all the different types of cables, ranging from a console to a copper straight through, copper crossover, fiber, phone, coax, serial, DCE and DTE, octal cable, and then some custom ones in a USB cable. So we're going to choose the console cable, which is the blue one, and we're going to connect it from the RS-232 option on the PC, and then we're going to click on switch 1 and choose the console port. All right, now this allows you to be able to directly interact with the device. Now in a real life situation, if you had a switch in a rack or a wiring closet or something like that, you don't have an option to be able to directly click on the switch, go to the CLI, which this one says is locked because of that reason. In some of our lab assignments, you will be able to directly click on the switch and go to the command line interface, but in a real life situation, you would have to take a console cable from the PC and connect it to the switch. And then everything that you want to type, you have to type from the PC end, right? So we're going to click on the PC, and on the desktop option, we're going to be looking for terminal. You can leave all of these settings default. We're going to click OK, and you'll hit enter to get started, and voila, you will see that right here is your switch. So you are directly interacting with the switch in our diagram, switch 1, from the PC, because there is no screen on a switch or a router for that matter, unless you have like a KVM directly hooked up to a rack that the router switches in. Most of the time people do this way with the console cable. So here we click on PC1, the desktop tab, click on terminal, leave everything default, and click OK. And now we are ready to interact with our switch. So you can go through the rest of the lab here. It has you in step 3, click question mark, All right, the question mark is a great tool for you. Anywhere you are on a router, if you do not know what command to type, for instance, I'm just going to show you one. This is one that you have not quite learned yet, but let's say I didn't know I could type in an interface here, right? If I didn't know what to type, I could hit question mark, and you'll see one of the options here is interface. So let's say I type in interface, and let's say I didn't know what to type after that. I can hit question mark again. It will tell you what available commands could follow that. So maybe fast Ethernet here, question mark, it'll tell you 0 through 9. So you can keep doing that to kind of piece the command together. If you have no idea what you are typing, you can kind of piece it together. Now you will obviously learn more and more of this as the semester goes along, but that's just an example. So as you go through the rest of this lab, some things to look out for: how to go from this, let me exit one more time. How to go from this mode where you just have that forward arrow, that is looking for you to type the word enable. You can shorten commands as well. It is completely optional for you, but you can do like EN is short for enable. And then we get to the pound symbol, and they're usually here. You can either do one of two things. You can do show commands, for instance, show running configuration or show run, and hit enter. This will show you all the different stuff that you have configured on the router or switch. This works for both. What is already configured. You can kind of see here each interface. If there was an IP address, it'd be listed. And again, this is stuff you'll learn later in the semester. Or you could do config terminal or configure terminal, or I just shorten it to config T. When you hit enter here, it takes you into global configuration mode, and this is where you can actually type in all of your configurations and actually start to set IP addresses, set default gateways, type in passwords, all that, or set the passwords. All that stuff you can type in global configuration mode, and you'll notice it'll change from just a pound symbol to it'll say the name of the switch, S1, config in parentheses, and then the pound symbol. So this is where you can actually type in a lot of your configuration. So as you go through the rest of the lab, it'll have you set the clock, which is the actual time, which is important. If you ever had like a log file or an issue come up, you may want to know what time it happened. So you can continue through the rest of that lab, but the most important part here is making sure that you connect this console cable to the switch and access it through the terminal here on the PC. And then you can start to kind of get the grasp of the beginnings of interacting with your switch or router, because it will work for that as well. But this example uses a switch from the PC. So that's just an example of our first lab assignment for navigating the iOS 2.1.4.8. And again, you'll want to make sure you save it, okay, after you've extracted it. Now, if you fail to extract the files and you save it into the zipped folder, then it will never actually change, because that zip folder, you can't change anything in there. So you do need to make sure you extract your files first. That's very important. So if you need any further help with Lab 2.1.4.8, navigating the iOS, please let me know, and I can help you out via email, phone, or you can come to my office. Thank you, and again, if you're looking for any of the other 3 labs in Chapter 2, those will be in separate videos to follow.